And my dear students, a very good afternoon to one and all. So, you all will be aware that India is celebrating 75th year of independence. So, on the eve of this, there are various programs that were being conducted throughout the country. And out of that, one of the program is to enlighten the students or to give awareness to the students and the citizens of India regarding the cyber safety, that measures that has to be followed. So is there anyone in this gathering that you are not making use of your cell phones? Anyone in the gathering not making use of a mobile? No. So parents buy a latest mobile for you, right? A smartphone for you, because you need to listen to your. So that made. Is there anyone who do not browse? Browse the internet? No. Yes or no? Yes. You're all browsing, right? So what are you looking on to? What is that you look on to? How many of you are just making use of this internet for a positive manner? In a positive sense? Yes, everyone will be making use of the internet in a positive sense also. Wherein you have abundant of data that is available. So whatever information that you want, you'll be just getting it from the internet. Right? That is what we do. So whenever you have a problem have a solution for a problem, we just browse the net. So it is replacing almost your teacher, right? In the olden days, when a student has any doubt, he used to go to a teacher and then get the doubts clarified. But now, no one is asking the teacher. Rather, everyone has a solution in the internet. Is it not so? So whatever slides that I have prepared are not my own. I have used the internet for searching all this. Then I have come to I have just compiled all this and then I have made this particular presentation. So this presentation has been made from various sources. So out of them, most of the sources from which I have collected this are the awareness program topics only that I have collected, so that I'll just give awareness to you all regarding what sort of cyber attacks are possible. So the topic of today is cyber hygiene. What do you mean by hygiene? In general, what do you mean by hygiene? Always we'll be saying that you should have food in a hygiene manner, right? So your environment should be clean, it should be safe and all. So even when you are making use of your internet, you should have all the safety measures to be taken so that there won't be any sort of attacks that are possible. So the title goes like cyber hygiene, where you need to keep yourself safe in a tech-driven world. So this is a Industry 4.0, that is what we are on to now. So where you have lot of technologies being integrated, like artificial intelligence, data science, etc. are being integrated over there. IoT, so all the devices now which are getting connected to the internet are being enabled to have the communication with the other. Even when you look at all the devices that we have now are being enabled with a smart chip. So wherein they can have the communication with the other devices. That is what your IoT is for, Internet of Things. So when lot of devices are getting connected to the network, all of us may not be taking this in a positive way. There may be some people who may use this particular network for the negative sense also. So you need to be aware of them, and then what sort of defenses you need to go for so that you can come out of that. So that is what we will be looking into in today's session. What is the need? Why government is conducting such sort of awareness camps on cyber security? Every individual of this country should have the awareness on this cyber security. Why? Because one or the other way we are making use of the internet, maybe for transmitting your data or maybe for getting the data, and nowadays there is no cash transactions as that is going on. All the transactions are being done through the internet only. So all the individuals, all the citizens of this particular country, when they are moving on to the digital transactions, they should be aware of what sort of crimes are going on in the internet. So you are the people and you are the future engineers who should have complete idea on what sort of attacks are going on in the internet, and in turn it is your responsibility to give awareness to the other people also. So one people should give awareness to the other, maybe to your family members, so that every one of us in the country should be aware of what sort of mechanisms or what sort of safety measures have to be taken so that we can avoid these sort of cyber attacks. So it's a responsibility of every citizen. So internet, so everyone will be talking about the internet and all every day. So there are a number of devices that are getting connected together, and if your internet does not serve any purpose rather than transmitting the data. But it is just a information highway that you are going to have. That is what internet is. It does not provide you anything like what data you want, that all these things will not be provided by the internet. Rather, we will be having some web applications that are being deployed wherein you can get the information from this. So your internet as such, it just delivers the data from one end to the other end. And there may be number of applications that may be run which makes use of this particular network. So these applications can be malicious. If they are malicious, then there can be a possibility of getting attacked over them. Right? So when we look at the statistics, like how many people are making use of the internet, so when we look at in 1995, it was just 16 million users. 16 million users, that is 0.4% of the total population that was making use of the internet. Rather, when we take the statistics in 2010, it has been raised to 1.6 billion. Those number of users are being using this particular internet. And the statistics in 2020, it shows that nearly 54.6% of the users are making use of this internet. So internet growth is going on. So usage of the day by day is getting increased. And now number of people not having a single device, rather they'll be having 2 or 3 devices. Maybe how many of you have 2 or 3 devices? 50% of you will be having 2 or 3 devices, right? All of them are getting connected to the internet. So rather than number of people, the number of devices that are getting connected to the internet are growing over there. So if any one particular node is going for a malicious activity, then it can destroy the other nodes also. So we need to keep track of which particular node is getting is being vulnerable, all these things. That has to be known. Just next. So that is what I was talking, why you need to get awareness on this. What does it mean to me? Why should I know the cyber security? So cyber security has to be known to everyone who makes use of a device. a device that is getting connected to the network, which is capable of communicating, which has some information to be transmitted. So all those device users have to be aware of this cyber hygiene. So that is why government is organizing these sort of workshops throughout India. So we are all in the cyber society. Why? Because we are making use of one or the other ICT tools that are being made use of. So we all belong to this particular society, cyber society. Is it not the responsibility as a citizen to keep the safety of this particular society, and every member of that society should have the responsibility, right? So take a vote saying that I'll be aware of these safety measures, and in turn I'll just promote this particular awareness to the others also. Please take this particular oath and then we can move forward. So that is the main purpose of these sort of awareness programs. Just not listening to that. Rather, you need to promote it. That is what is very much essential. So I think all of you will take that particular oath and then you just promote it. You just tell this particular awareness to the 2 or more people so that every one of us get the awareness. So awareness training, as we said, it is a must, and we may be using a lot of technologies. So number of technologies are coming, and there are number of safety measures also that are being used. So we'll be in our university or in our college also, we have the firewalls and all being installed, but still there is a number of vulnerabilities that arise. Why? If the weak link here is the people. If the people are fully aware of this, then they will not commit any sort of mistake. So most of the mistakes that will be done is due to the people only. Say, you have your passwords that you are maintaining. By mistake, will be revealing your passwords to someone else. Is it not your mistake, or is it the mistake of the others? It's your mistake only, right? So people are the weakest link in the chain of this particular cyber security. So we have to be aware of this, and we have to keep note of this. That is what we have to do. So it is not the students alone who has to get the awareness. Rather, every individual should have the awareness on this cyber security, especially the children who are in the teens. Maybe you are also in the teens, I think. So these people are getting attracted to number of social engineering sites, and they are doing lot of unwanted activities. So that should be avoided. So that can be avoided with the awareness camps like this. So we can see that only 10% of the security will be done by making use of the safeguards, and the remaining 90% where it has to be done. So only 10% of the security safeguards are technical in nature. What about the 90%? Everything I cannot protect making use of some other technical devices. Rather, it is the individual who should have the awareness. Rather, all the 90% is the non-technical activity that is causing some sort of damage to the cyber society. So, you may be thinking, like I'm using the internet, I'm getting something out of it, right? I'm making use of this internet. Why the people will be around me? Why people have to trouble me? So if everyone thinks like that, then there won't be any set of measures that you require, right? But when you are making use of the internet, it is through the net only you are transmitting your secret information, or your identity information is being transmitted through the internet only, right? So there may be the hackers who may get this particular information. So you need to be aware that we are making use of some services in the internet to which you are giving your personal information. So that we have to be aware. Yeah, whatever transactions that we are making, online transactions, so every one of us now is after e-marketing only. You are buying the goods from online only, right? Where you are providing your personal details like the credit card details and all are being provided. So there is a chance that this information can go into the hands of an adversary. So you need to keep track of that, and then you need to have the awareness on how you are going to get rid of these sort of attacks. Maybe most of us will be using your ATMs. So there may be a number of frauds that can go on in the ATM also. So we have to be aware of what sort of frauds that are going on in the cyber sector. So maybe you may not be performing your online transactions or so. If you think that I am safe because I am not revealing any of my personal information, even then your system may be hacked and that can be used for some other purpose. Like now crypto mining is going on. What do you mean by crypto mining? So now everyone is going for some sort of blockchain where they are making use of some sort of cryptocurrency and all. So when they are maintaining this particular information in a distributed environment, so it is your systems that are being hacked and they'll be using your systems for performing some operations which may benefit that particular person. So even if you are not providing your personal information, there may be a chance that your system may be hacked and it can be used for some other purpose. So you need to be aware of all this. So when we look at, there are a number of news that you will be finding in the newspapers saying that there's a cyber security breach, a data security breach that has happened, wherein the data related to number of people have been released to some unauthorized sources or something like that. So what will they do with this particular data? Even you might have listened that Facebook has sold so many number of users' information. That is what is the news that has happened, that has come over there. So what will the people do with this particular data? Data is the new oil, remember. So everyone now is after the data. So whatever data that we are giving in your social networks are being sold. I do not say that everyone is selling that, rather that information can be leaked to others also. So be aware when you are making use of your social networking sites. So when we look at the internet, when you are browsing the internet, generally we will be accessing some sort of website like the Google, Yahoo or whatever it is, some sort of search engines that we are making use of. So that will be in the upper layer, that is the surface web, where you the information, where you can directly get the information from the network. So that holds only for 4%. The surface web that we are making use of right now is just 4%. So when you want to access some resources, you will be getting the information through your Google search engine or Yahoo search engine or whatever it is, then you will be getting the information. You may access that particular information directly, where you need not have to have any sort of account or something like this, so where you can get the information. But 90% comes under this deep web. So in this deep web, all the information, some information has to be kept secret over there. So that information and all can be accessed through this deep web. So when you go for this particular deep web, so when you want to access your Gmail or something like this, so the interface will be open to all. Everyone can view that. So that will be in the surface web. But when you want to access your inbox, then you need to provide your user ID and the password, which will be specific for you only. So that information, that set of applications, those come under this deep web, where you can access your own information with some sort of authentication mechanism. Once you are authenticated, then you can make use of this particular deep web applications. But the other one that we have is the dark web. So when you go for this dark web, all the illegal activities now are being going on in this particular one, deep web. All the things, something like illegal activities like the drugs and all these things are being done by making use of this deep web. Where make use of something like the onion routing protocol, where in the onion routing protocol, it will not be just data that will be transmitted, rather it will make use of several nodes to transmit the data. When it is transmitted from one node to, if the data has to be sent from the sender to the receiver, directly it will not be transmitted, rather it will be transmitted to the nearest node with some sort of encryption being done. And from there it will be further encrypted and that will be sent to the next node. Thereby, anonymity will be provided when you make use of this particular deep web. And there is no chance as such to identify who is that particular user who is performing this particular activity in the deep web. So most of these people, the criminals, are making use of this particular dark web to go for their illegal activities. So we need to be aware of that. So, but that cannot be accessed directly with your browser that we have, like your Mozilla Firefox or Chrome or something cannot be used for accessing this particular deep web. So there are different browsers that we have where we can access this, like the Tor browser that we have, which offers anonymity over there. So that is not being used by us mostly. Next. So what are the risks that we have when we make use of this particular internet? So the major online risks and the threats that we have to your system are in the form of viruses, worms and the trojans. They enter into your system. So the virus can enter into your system and then it can propagate from one program to the other program within your system, destroying the complete programs in your system. That can be done over there. And worm is the internet, is being transmitted through the internet. Right? It propagates from one node to another node. And Trojan horse is a hidden program that we have, which is hidden into some other program. And once the program enters into your system, automatically in the background, when you run this particular program, gets run. And then it performs some illegal activities like where you get the information for which this particular user is not privileged to. Like the secret information that we have related to the passwords or something like this thing, that can be get, that you can get it by making use of this particular Trojan horses. So these are some of the major online risks that we have to your computer. So how can you secure your device? So for securing your device or the computer, don't make use of the passwords for a very long period. Periodically you change your passwords. Change the passwords at regular intervals. That is one solution that can be given there. And install your antivirus. Antivirus is very much essential for all the systems. You need to update. So the updates that you are going to get every day has to be considered over there. And then always scan. When you insert your USB, first scan your USB and only then you make use of that. And do not leave your device unlocked. So generally when we are working, if anyone calls us, we just leave the device and then go off. So there may be an attacker who can come and make use of your device if it is open. So please lock your device if you are going out of your work, even for 1 or 2 seconds. Also, if you are going out, you just lock it. And also, for a particular period of time, after a particular period of time, let the device, if it is not being used, get it locked after a period of time. So that interval you specify and then it gets locked automatically. So that sort of automatic locks have to be used over there. So never store your passwords on your devices. Maybe you will be having several accounts and you will be having different passwords used for different accounts. So generally what you will do, will be writing all of them on a piece of paper or will be storing them in your device. So if your device goes into the hands of an adversary, all your information goes off. So never store your passwords on a device. Around 360k malwares that are being released, and you need to have your antivirus updated so that it can defend all these sort of malwares, right? So the other one is you need to keep your system up to date. So maybe in your mobile phone also you will be getting some sort of system software updates. We'll be just generally ignoring that, saying that there will be some additional features related to the user interface that has been added. So why do I want to go for updations of this? But never do that. Always, whenever you have a system update, just go for that. There may be some sort of secure safety measures also that will be incorporated when you go for this system updates. So always go for updating your system quite frequently. So what are cyber crimes? So now we have seen what exactly we are making use of in the internet. We are going for some sort of browsing and all those things, getting the information. That is what we are going for. Now, what do you mean by this cyber crimes? Making use of this cyber world, cyberspace, lot of illegal activities are being performed. So that is what is a cyber crime. So any unlawful activity where we are involving this cyberspace that is being used as a tool, or it may be a target, or it may be both. You can make this as a tool, and also you can attack this particular cyber system itself. So that is what we call it as a cyber crime. So these are some of the list of cyber crimes that we have. So I'm not going into details regarding all this. I'll be focusing only on 4 key aspects. So when we look at the cyber crimes that are happening in India, so this is the rate at which the cyber crimes are growing. In 2014, it was just 9,622, and later it has come to, now it has been reported in 2020 that there is an increase of 11.8% in the cyber crimes. So that is the rise that we have in 2020 when compared it to the 2019. So we can see this particular graph where during this particular decade there is a sharp rise that we can observe in the cyber crimes that are going on in India, especially in India itself. So why the hackers want to attack? Why do they want to perform this illegal activity? The main thing is for the ransom. That is for the money decrypting your data. That is what has happened. Maybe in 2017, you might have seen a ransomware that has happened, and that has caused a number of systems to go down. Even in Tirumala also we can see few of the systems have gone down because of this particular ransomware. So where they're demanding the money, even after paying the money, it cannot be ensured that they'll be getting back the data. It is not being ensured. Only 50% of the amount has been, 50% of the systems have come to the normalcy even after paying the amount also. So major attacks that are happening here is related to this ransomware only. So what exactly do you mean by cyber security? Securing all your devices that are getting connected to your internet, all the operations that we are performing, and all the assets that we have, that has to be secure. So that is what cyber security is. Securing in the sense, you need to provide confidentiality to the information wherever the information is confidential. And also when the data is being transmitted, you need to ensure that there is no modifications that are being done to the data. That is, you need to ensure the integrity of the message. And also, the devices, if at all you want to access any particular service, that services has to be made available at all the time for all the valid users or the authenticated users. So that is to be done. So that is what cyber security is. So we'll be focusing on 4 aspects, 4 key areas over there. One is we'll be discussing on what sort of, how you need to provide your security to your passwords, and then we'll look at how you need to secure your identity and how the attacks happen through your mobiles, and at last we'll be looking at the social engineering attacks. So passwords. When you say about the password, so generally what sort of passwords we'll be having? Generally, whatever we remember easily, that is what your password will be like. Maybe mostly it will be related to your profile. My name will be my password. Or my daughter's name will be my password. That is what we do generally. And now, the sites are restricting that your password should have some numeric value and also some special symbol. So that what we will do, my name, @ your roll number or something else. That is what we do generally. How secure is that? How strong is that? It's a weak password. So when we look at, so these are the top 25 passwords that are being used by majority of the people, and that is being given according to the rank. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the password that is being used mostly by many of the people, right? Even in 2017, 2018 and 2019, it is holding the first rank. That is, most of the people are making use of that as the password. Is it not easy for anyone to just guess this particular password? Yes or no? So if your profile is known to anyone, they can easily guess what sort of password you will be having. So generally these are the passwords that are being used, and these, if you are making use of any of these passwords, please do not make use of them. Please take them off and replace it with your passwords. That is what is required. So your password should be strong enough. Your password should not be weak, rather your password should be strong enough. So for any of the sites that you look, which relates to your financial transactions like your banks or so, it will be showing, there will be a bar which shows what sort of password it is, whether it is providing strong or is it a weak or something else like that. You can see a bar that is being given. So it just says whether your password can be easily broken or not. That you have to see. So if it is related to your profile, generally it is a weak password. So you need to have a strong password. But strong passwords generally will not be easy for us to remember, because it involves some sort of special symbols and something which will not be easy for us to remember, right? So if you are having number of accounts, for every account if you want to have a different password and that too strong enough, it will not be easy for us to remember all the passwords. Generally we will be forgetting the passwords. When you forget the passwords in most of the email, if the hacker hacks your email, what can be done? All the transactions that you are doing online, making use of your email, can also go into the hands of an adversary here. Once he knows your email ID and the password for that particular account, then he can enter into your system, and then just he can use this particular banking site or something, give the username, and then just go for forget password. When he just presses this forget password, there will be a link that will be sent to your email, right? So now he has your email account, so he just open that and then set the password for that. Then he can perform what sort of activities that can be done. That is why they have introduced two-factor authentication rather than single-factor authentication. Not just only the password that you are giving, rather you are getting a OTP there. That's the second factor that we have. So unless you use particular OTP and it is validated, then only you will be asked to enter. You will be allowed to access this. So that sort of security is being provided. So these are the ways in which you need to have your strong passwords. So if at all you want to check whether your password is a strong password or a weak password, you can just visit this particular site, security.org. How secure is my password? Just type whatever password that you have selected. It just gives us how many years will it take for your password to be guessed. For performing this brute force attack, how much time will it take that you can have from this particular site? You just give me a password. It just specifies. So it takes 200 years or 180 minutes or something like this. So if your password is a weak password, then it can be guessed in several seconds or so. If not, if it is a strong password, it may take number of years. So that is used as how much time it takes if you are going to perform this particular brute force attack on that particular system. So you can just check before you set your password, you can make use of this particular site and see how secure is your password and then make use of this password. So what sort of attacks can be possible on your password? So one sort of thing is a shoulder surfing attack. While you are pressing your password, from the back someone can look into it, look at the keys that you are typing. That is what is shoulder surfing attack. So we call it as a brute force attack. And the other attack is a dictionary attack, where if the passwords are related to your profile, then you can make a dictionary of all the passwords, that guessable passwords, and then try them out one after other. That is what a dictionary attack is. So these are all the various attacks that are possible over your passwords. Next. So don't never use the same password for different accounts, rather make use of a different password for different accounts. Do not share your password to anyone. Say for example, if you have shared your password and there is a crime that has happened making use of your account, it is not that even if you say to the police that you have not made use of this, on account of you someone has made use of that, there may be certain evidences saying that so-and-so has used your password and then they have done the crime. But it is your password ultimately, and you are also one of the victims. You are also one of the person who has to take the responsibility over there. Because it is your password that has been used and he has performed the illegal operation with your credentials. So you will also be liable for that. So next thing is identity. Identity thefts we'll be looking at, already we have seen. So there may be, so we are saying that identity theft in the sense your personal information that is being released to others. So there are a number of news that you can see in the newspapers. Every day one or the other data breach is happening. So what is this data breach? Your personal information is being given to someone else. What did they do? They'll be going for some sort of data analytics and all that can be done over there. So your identities should be protected. So when you look at the ATM frauds that are happening now, when you go to the ATM, you can see that there is a keypad and you will be giving your passcode on that, right? Your PIN will be typed on that. So what these attackers can do is, over that particular keypad that we have, he can install another device over there. You can see that there is a keypad, the same sort of keypad that is being used. Over that he is going to place that over the keypad. And when you type on this particular keypad will be holding whatever keys that you have typed, all that information will be logged in over there. And that can be given to the others. Or the other thing, you can see that when you are inserting your card, there is another device that is being used over there. It will be placed on that, and this particular device will read the contents of your card and store it. And then the attacker can get this information from this particular device. So this is how you can have some sort of cloning also that can happen over your ATM cards. So how can I identify that? So before you make use of any of the keypads or something, before you make use of that, just shake that one. You just shake that keypad or wherever you are inserting your card, you just shake it. Right? If it is attached, if another device is attached, definitely it just shakes. Right? So that is how you have to identify. So you just stay vigilant from the strangers. Like maybe fewer people while you are making use of, it may not be in your case, rather maybe there are people who do not have awareness on this. They may be asking the help of the strangers to make use of their card. So never ask the strangers to make use of your cards. So what are the precautions that we have to take so that you can overcome this set of ATM fraud? You just verify to ensure that there is no extra device that is being connected near the card insertion, or maybe on keypad. You do not have any other extra device that is being connected. You need to ensure that. And when you are typing your PIN, you just cover your keypad so that it cannot be looked into by others. Even if someone is behind you also, they cannot look into yours. And also see that where exactly the camera that is being located. So use it to your keypad, please and then type. Otherwise, through that camera also, they may be able to catch your PIN. So all these are the precautions that we have to make use of when you make use of this ATM card. So most of us will go to markets and all the superstores and all where you will be giving your cards for transaction. So these POS devices also you can have some sort of rogue POS devices also here. So just see. It will be like the device that you are going to have, POS device only. Over that you will be having some sort of cover. So that has a chip insert where it just reads the contents of your card. It may read the contents of your card and that can be stored in that. Later the attacker can make use of that. So these are some of the examples of this rogue POS devices. Just see. Here you can see. Because here this is safe on this end, on the right side, it is a safe POS device. Where you can see that much of your card do not go inside. But whereas on the other hand, you can see on the left side, you can see that it is not safe. Why? Because your card has been inserted to a great extent over there. Why? Because it has been covered with some other cover so that your card will be inserted. In order to insert it into that particular device, it has to be moved further here. And this is how we can identify whether it is a rogue device or is it a normal device. So that is some sort of frauds that are going on related to the POS. So these are some of the things where you can see that when it is being covered there, the width of that is being increased over there. Why? Because it is being covered there, so the width is increased over there. That is how you can identify that it is a rogue device. On this hand, you can see that here the keyboard is quite visible over there, but on the other hand, it is not quite visible. Then also you can say that that is a rogue device. And here you can see that there is a light that is being lightened over there. So that is the original device, and the device which has been covered will not emit that particular light, and hence that is a rogue device. So these are some of the examples that we have related to the rogue device. So when you are giving your cards, please see that, please ensure that other at that particular station whether they are making use of the correct device or not. So then coming to your mobile security. So we'll be looking at the mobile ads. So there are a number of frauds that are happening through the mobile ads. So whenever you get a mail, you get something to install a particular app, it is something like a game app or something, just will download and install it, right, on your system. Never do that. So only install through your Play Store only, right? So you may ask a question whether all the apps that are being stored in the Play Store are safe or not. Yes. But there will be number of users who will be making use of that. Before you install an app from your Play Store, you just check what is the rating of that particular app and then go ahead with it, right? But how many downloads are happening on that particular thing? You just look into that particular statistics, only then you make use of that particular app. And those apps which are coming to you in the form of an SMS or the WhatsApp or through your emails, never install them. They may be suspicious. Please do not install such sort of apps. So the other one is SIM cloning or SIM swap that you are going to call it as. So where in your SIM card, we will be storing lot of details over there. So if your SIM is being cloned, then you can make use of that particular SIM and then the attacker can perform the illegal activities. So if at all you find that sort of thing, you should ask your service provider to stop that particular SIM being used. Next. So frauds can happen even on screen sharing also. Share it and all we are making use of, where your screen can be shared to others. So if that is the case, if it is being shared to anyone can perform some sort of activities on your system. Please do not go for such sort of applications where you are sharing your screen. The other one, choose hacking. Have you heard about this? Even on the socket where you will be getting your power from, even on that also, the criminals are making use of that to store some of the apps into your malicious apps into your mobile. So while you are charging also, some of the applications can be stored into your device and then you can have all the information going to the hands of this adversary. So never make use of the sockets which are publicly available. Never make use of that. Right? You have your power bank with you, just insert it. At all, you do not have the power for your mobile, just insert your power bank. But never make use of the public sockets. So the other thing is most of us will be getting some sort of calls saying that you have won lottery and this much of amount will be given to you. You just press this particular number and give your details, give your account details so that we'll be giving all the information. These sort of calls are quite common nowadays, right? So that is what we call it as a phishing attack. So scammers will be calling you and then they'll be saying that some other things you are getting benefited out of it. And then simply will be giving this. Never any bank will be asking about your OTPs. Please always remember, no bank will ask your OTPs to be revealed. So, but most of the people who do not have enough knowledge, they will be revealing their OTPs. They will be revealing their OTPs. Even the educated people also, if some of the fraudulents have call them and ask them, so your account will be closed by this particular day if you are not going to perform this particular operation, then unknowingly they will be just telling the OTP and all. Even the educated people also does that sort of mistakes because they will be impersonating the people from a particular office and they will be ensuring that they are the people who belong to that particular industry or something like this, right? So to that particular unit they belong to, that will be ensured with their talk. So never get into trap of these people who will be calling and asking for your personal information. Please never reveal any sort of personal information. Personal information in the sense, yeah, maybe related to your transactions and financial transactions especially. Never reveal such sort of things. Never a bank will ask to reveal your CVV when you are making use of your card. Never it will be asking to reveal your OTP. So please always keep in mind that if at all you get any phishing calls like this, you just do not respond to them. Just stop them. The other one is phishing. This is SMS phishing that you are going to have. So where you will be getting the messages saying that these are from some sort of authenticated sources, and then there will be some sort of links that you are going to have at the end. So generally what we will do when you have this particular SMS, generally we just look at this. So if there is any some sort of, there may be some messages which says that it is very urgent or something, your grandfather is has met an accident and you need to transfer so and so amount onto this is the number. So generally what, out of a hurry and out of the concern that we have towards them, generally we will be opening all these sort of things and then we will be performing that illegal activity. So they will be asking for your account details and for transferring the money or something like this. So never respond to that sort of SMS that you are going to have. So when you get these sort of links, how are you going to verify whether it is a valid link or some sort of malicious link that you have got? So there are 4 steps that we need to follow before you click on that particular link. So first, you verify whether that particular link is coming from a source whom you are aware of or not. Whether it is coming from a number which is stored in your mobile, or if it is through an email, whether you know that particular mail ID. Have you received any mails from that particular mail ID before or not? Is it known to you or not? First you verify that. Right? Once you verify that, then you just go for hovering on that. So just go to, if it is a mail that you have, if you have a link, you just go to, make use of a pointer and go to that particular link. It just gives us what is the actual URL of that particular URL that is being transmitted. You can just find it out whether it is a original one or is it some sort of impersonated one that we have. So that once you identify that, you won't be going for clicking on that. So if it is on your mobile, just hold on that particular link for some time, then it shows us what is the actual URL of that particular link. So if it is found to be some suspicious one, never open that. Right? So these are the steps that are being involved. So to come out of this smishing activity. So here you can see, whenever you get a mail from anyone saying that, you just check whether it is a valid mail or not by looking into the contents. Whether it is coming from a valid source or not. Have you ordered, say, generally you will be getting the mail saying that mails or an SMS saying that from the Amazon you have ordered so and so goods and it is on it will be delivered soon. So you need to pay this particular amount or something else. You just open this particular link to check where the delivery status of that. Suddenly we'll just click on that. But you might not have ordered anything. Even then we'll do that. So never do that sort of thing. First you will check whether you have done that particular transaction or not. Whether it is pertaining to you or not. Only then you try to open that. So this is another example where it has got a link over there. You can see there is a URL that has come in a mail. So now it has come from a valid user. That is, in your address box you have that particular email address. But that has been hacked. That mail ID has been hacked by someone else. So they will be just sending these sort of unwanted messages to us. So you just check even though if it is coming from a valid source and your name that you have over there is a known name to you, but maybe it may be hacked by someone else, and someone else might have used this particular ID for performing this activity. You need to check on that. So the name is okay and the email ID is okay, but what sort of content is being transmitted? What is that particular URL that is being transmitted? You just look into whether it is related to you or not. We need to look at that, and then only you need to open it. So this is nowhere related to me. So just simply drop this. Right? So next. So even when you are getting the text messages also, you need to do the same thing. First identify whether it is pertaining to you or not. If it is pertaining to you, then you hover on that. Then you find out whether it is leading you to the actual URL or not. If it is leading to a false URL, never open that sort of thing. So this is how you need to hover before you click on that particular link that you are going to have. So if it is on a system that you are doing, just take your mouse to that, pointer to that, then it will show you what is that actual link to which it will be leading to. And then if it is on a mobile, you just hold on that particular link for some time, then it displays what is the actual link. So hover, once it is hovered and you find that it is safe, only then you click on that. Even if you have 1% doubt on this, never open that sort of So there is another way, like maybe the URL is long, so you are going to shorten that URL, and short URLs will send. Especially when you go for something like where you are creating the Google Forms and all. So there you will be sending the short link over there. Right? Short links you are going to send. So that short link, whenever you see, you will just open it. But that short link, based on that short link, you should not say that it is a valid one. Rather, you need to expand that and then see whether it is a genuine one or where is it going to a fraudulent site or something like this. So you have this link expander where you can make use of this to expand that particular link and then check it out whether it is a valid link or not. If it is a valid link, only then you go for that. That is what we need to do. So next. So these are the precautions that we have to take. Never open an SMS that is coming from a person who is not in your list. Next, coming to the social engineering. So what do you mean by social engineering? Social engineering is an approach or the method where you will be using to gain access to the information through misinterpretation or false identity by making use of the various methods. Few of them are like you will be just carelessly talking to others and then you may reveal certain things over there that can be used by the others to impersonate you. Such sort of things are the social engineering attacks. Like when you open a Facebook account or something, they will be asking all the details of your profile, right? You will be giving all the information to them. All your information will be given to them, right? So they may make use of this sort of information and then they can perform some sort of attacks over this. So there are three attacks that generally happen in social engineering. One is the phishing that we have seen earlier, and the other one is smishing, the other one is phishing. In a phishing, where the attacker will be creating the sites which looks very much similar to that of the original sites, and then they're asking for the personal information, all your personal information, and then you will be unknowingly giving that information, and that goes into the hands of the attackers. Thereby, they'll be making use of your credentials to perform some activities over there. So that is what a phishing is. So some sort of phishing mails that are coming from a valid user that can be sent over there. Even most of you may be getting some mails saying that from income tax department you are getting this something like this, but those are not the messages that you are going to get from the income tax department. Just go on. Just so never a bank will be asking to reveal your ATM pins or something else. If at all you find any of these sort of sites wherein it asks for this, then it is a fished site that you are going to have. So this is a mail that has been received from stating that it is from the income tax department and there is a refund that you are going to get. Generally, when you see that we are going to get money, we will be very anxious and then we will be just clicking on that, right? That is what human tendency is. So unknowingly we will do that particular operation. So you can see that the URL you can see, but never will be concentrating on that particular URL. Generally we'll look at the content and then we'll press the links or something. But always you see what sort of URL it is being used. Is it HTTPS or not? If it is HTTPS, only then you try to open that. Next. So there are some more attacks like the homographic attack that is possible, which is very much similar to that of your phishing. But when you go for this homographic attacks, so here the URLs which you are going to have, they look very much similar to that of the actual URLs. But internally they may be using a different code over there. You just go back. Next. See here, you can see that AA is a character that we have. So that is the characters that we have in English. But it is a character that we have in Russian language. That particular one, AA. It is some character that we have in the other languages. So Unicodes are being used over there, so they make use of this sort of Unicodes, and then they will be creating an impression that this is actually a link site. So you need to be careful of that, and always you need to see whether it is a secure site or not. Next, attachments that are coming into your email, never download that sort of things if it is not from a source whom you know. If it is a suspicious ID that from which you have received this, never open that. Next. So there are some more crimes that we have. There are different types of cyber crimes that we have. So these are few of the cyber attacks that may be possible, which every one of us should be aware of. So now you ask yourself, as an internet user, are you safe or not? Is it safe to make use of the internet? How many of you say yes? Safe? Yes or no? So if your answer is yes, how safe are you? How safe are you? It's a big question mark, right? So you need to have the awareness on all these frauds, then you can be safe. So if you feel that you are unsafe, you need to read all these things, right? So there is one site that has been created by the government of India, wherein you can just look into what are all the things that we have. They even have collected this particular slides from CDAC. Where they have come up with a project where they will be giving the awareness on information security, education and awareness project. That is so from there I have got this particular slides. So www.infosecawareness.com, you just go to that. There they have given lot of things. How you need to secure yourself in the cyber world. There you can just go through, you can just register into that particular site and then you can look at what are all the things that we need to take care of so that we can be safe when you are making use of the internet. Next. So, you always see that nothing comes for free. So if at all you get any call saying that it is being given free of cost or something, never trust on them. Nothing is free in this particular. You have just understand it. Nothing is secure in the world of security. That has to be kept in mind. So you need to be cautious. You need to be cautious, and then whatever action that you are doing, you need to be cautious about the actions that we do. So, as I said, in a security chain, the weakest link is the human being. So, you need to be aware of all the frauds that are happening and how you need to overcome that. That you should have the awareness. So, you may have your antivirus or your firewalls in place, but as I said, the weakest link is the human being. So, all of us should have the awareness on this particular cyber safety, and that is the purpose why we are all gathered here. So I hope to some extent I have given some information to the best of my knowledge. Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Shobha has the valuable information for using the browsing, internet, everything, and when you are using mobile phones, how do you save the password, everything, all the information has given to you, much more information has given to you, and in order to prevent the cyber threats, what we have to do, everyone has to follow what are the precautions to be made. And the valuable, thank you ma'am, thank you very much for the valuable information, especially given to our students of JNTU Azadi. Next we have with us Ramon Ragaru. Everybody is eagerly expecting Ramon Ragaru.
Good evening, all of you. Good evening, sir. How is the class? क्या ये पूछने की बात है याड लो చూస్తుంటాం కదా మేడం covered everything, so it is very pleasure moment for me to be part of this program on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence. In association with JNTU, the police department has organized this cyber safety and cyber security program. We are, first of all, we are very grateful to all the students for patient listening for the last 1.5 hours. And we are very grateful to the Vice Principal, Sri Durga Prasad Garu, for organizing this event. And we are very grateful to Madam Shobha Madam, Department of Computer Science, where she covered a detailed lecture on covering everything in cyber security and cyber safety. Nowadays, I don't want to repeat security and cyber crimes. Often we are receiving so many complaints regarding this cyber attacks. In the last 4 to 5 years, we used to receive the complaints about without our fault, some amount has been deducted from our account. Initially, what is happening, they are compromising their credentials and they are revealing their OTPs and everything. That is happened before 3 to 4 years. Now what is happening? Now the fraudsters are using different kinds of modus operandi, like they are asking you on phone that have you been vaccinated? If you are not vaccinated, please reveal. If you are vaccinated, please reveal your Aadhaar card number, then OTP, like this. And sometimes they are asking for, like madam said previously, your bank account is to be updated. You have to share your credentials like that. So these things are happening regularly. And at the same time, nowadays you are watching the television news that fraudsters are using social media platforms to create law and order problems. Recently, yesterday in Secunderabad, in agitating against Agnipal, they used social media platforms to create law and order problems. The same social media is being used for cyber stalking, cyber bullying, and everything. So, as madam said, the weakest link is human being. Where we are compromising, there is every chance of threat or every chance of using our credentials or using our email account or using our bank accounts or something like that. The fraudster will make use of that. Most of the times these are financial frauds, and sometimes these are sexual, they are using for sexual abuse, and sometimes they are using for blackmailing the girl students who are came acquaintance with some other unknown friends in Facebook or like WhatsApp, like that. So after getting damaged with all these things, they approach police. I nude photos in this YouTube or something else like that. So the weakest link is human being. So we must be aware of that. We should sensitize our relatives, friends, and everybody. So that's all to from my side, and we are very much thankful to Madam and Durga Prasad Garu for giving such a wonderful lecture covering all the cyber security. And thank you, Ananta.
The last item of the program, eagerly everybody is waiting. I hope it was spent your valuable time today, Sunday. Although it is a holiday, after lunch generally you used to take rest, but you have troubled you, sorry for that. And I hope that this program now motivates you. That's why you have come, especially first year and second year. Okay, next last item of the program is congratulations to our chief guest today. Yeah, Abhishek. Now I request to consider Shobha ma'am here. Yeah, please come over here. Yeah, come here. On behalf of the government of Namo is there, Ravi is all the police officials are there. This is a rare opportunity and a wonderful occasion to consider our Shobha ma'am here. Thank you very much. Next, we will request to facilitate our Rama please. Please. It's a combined program, police department and snacks are arranged outside for everybody. Everybody have snacks and tea outside is arranged. Thank you.
Actually, SP Sri Fakirappa garu is supposed to address this gathering, but due to some inevitable land order problems, he went to Puntagal. So, in his place, I compared to it. Thank you.
Okay. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇంత సక్సెస్ఫుల్ చేసిన మన వైస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ గారికి సార్ గారికి సత్కారం